Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Friday night football blitz. Got to straighten the hair out a little bit. Just got home, rushing back from an amazing Pittston area Dallas game, 36-35 Mean Machine. The Patriots find a way to get it done. And we're going to talk about yesterday's victories first. Coach Harry Armstrong from Riverside, Braden Rose from the Vikings. Guys, we appreciate you joining us. And Coach, let's start out with that win on a Thursday night. And a little bit of a tension up there at Montrose, but talk about all the positive things going on there for the Vikings.
Well, John, first of all, thanks for having us on the show. We're happy to be here. It's a little bit different being here on a Friday night, not having a game. But yeah, I mean, yesterday was an exciting game for us. Certainly a little added attention having Coach Franklin be in there early on, showing support for Tavion Branch and everybody else that was there. We were a little bit extra excited for that. And, our guys got off to a great start. Braden's really been setting the tone for us. And to say the least, he had another monster game for us. And, in just one half a play, 4 touchdowns again to just double down on a 5 touchdown performance the week before. So, things are certainly starting to heat up for us right now.
Let's welcome in Braden Rose from the Riverside Vikings. Braden, did you think, okay, I'm going to be the quarterback this year for the Vikings? Was that your thought process coming into the year?
No, not really, but we really didn't have anybody, so I had to step up, and that's what I'm doing.
Let's talk about it. How much are you enjoying football right now?
It's great, Coach. He's helped me a lot, and my teammates are always pushing me through. Like if I'm struggling, and they're helping me a lot.
Let's talk about that football career of yours. Has it been seamless for you, or did you kind of just come out like recently? Like, tell us a little bit about. We know you're a basketball guy and pretty darn good.
So I really wasn't like big on it, but this year I worked a lot through the summer, and it's a pretty big part right now.
Let's talk about how you're balancing that with basketball, because I know that's very important to you. So, you still, shooting around and doing some different things.
Yeah, definitely have to like shoot around when I can. It's rough. There's a lot of time where watching film and a lot of practice, but whenever I can, I got to get shots up.
How about the dinged up part? Black and blue marks and, taking some hits and different things like that? Or you just kind of like, you know what? It's part of life. Hopefully things go in the right direction and it works out in the end for me.
I love it. It's a part of football to get hit, and you just got to love it.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Braden's skill set there for you guys and, how you kind of work around like, okay, this guy could do this, he could do that, he could dunk, whatever it is, kind of makes it work there for that football squad.
Well, it's every week we're learning something a little bit new about Braden as far as what can he bring to the table to do with his unique abilities. He's really brought a different style to our offense with what he's doing at quarterback right now. And I think he's growing into a new level of confidence each week. Sometimes you could even see it within the game, his confidence growing more and more. And it's not just a quarterback for us. Certainly at that position, his athleticism, the plays that he's making on the perimeter, the way he's able to extend some of our pass plays and turn them into big runs, it's really bringing a different element for us. But it's also on the special team side of things and the defensive side of the ball that the impact has been massive. 2 kickoff return touchdowns for us right now, a blocked field goal, multiple pressures. He had 3 punt returns last game for a total of about 80 yards. And defensively, he's the guy doing the hitting for us. He's starting to put some black and blues on some other guys right now with the way he's playing safety and playing downhill. A few interceptions on the season as well, and he's our team's leading tackler on top of things. So it's really all 3 phases. The impact has been incredible.
Braden, any sense there could be a shift from basketball to football here with that next level, or you pretty much know basketball is going to be your next level?
No, there's a big possibility that it's going to be football.
Talk a little bit about your family and how much they've embraced you playing football.
We're mainly a basketball family, but everybody's encouraging me on like working for football, and that is probably going to be my best sport.
At Riverside, seeing you guys, the big deal at halftime is, whether it's the girls' game, the guys' game, shooting those half-court shots. And I remember when some of you guys were like little kids, you were pretty good at it. You're like 6, 7 years old. Were you one of those guys who used to make those shots?
Yeah, at one point I probably made 3 in a row, or 4 in a row.
I think I might have been at that game. I remember a while ago, like, man, these kids are ridiculous. What's it like to play with Tavion and kind of see what he does there, Braden, for your Vikings?
It's great. He's a great player, and with him getting all these looks, it helps everybody around him, and it encourages us to get better.
Coach, let's get back to you. Let's talk a little bit about other guys stepping up on this squad this year for the Vikings, maybe flying under the radar a little bit.
Well, a couple of our guys on the defensive side of the ball, Madden Sandley and Nijay Scott Holt. These guys are both seniors for us. They started the season off as linebackers, and they both transitioned actually to the defensive line. There are two starting defensive ends right now, and Nijay just started his second game there for us at the end. And they're bringing a different element of speed and athleticism for us there. So they're really helping strengthen our front in that regards. And then the Jackson brothers have really stepped up for us too, Max Jackson and Jared Jackson. Jared's our leading receiver, making plays in a lot of different ways with the ball on offense. He's also a great corner for us and another weapon for us in the kickoff return game. And Max Jackson, with Sandley and Nijay stepping up at D-line, he stepped in as our starting middle linebacker now, and he's also our starting tight end. So he's been rock solid for us in those roles. And then Carmelo Barnett's starting to find his game going again right now. He had a big game for us in a lot of different ways against Montrose. Interception return for a touchdown, 2 offensive touchdowns, and a few big plays on special teams and defense again too. So he's a real huge element for what we can do with his speed and athletic ability. So we're hoping to continue to get him going. So certainly a lot of different guys are stepping up and making some plays for us right now.
Braden, how about the schedule and playing teams week in and week out, and what that experience has been like, and looking at film and learning the whole football side of things? You kind of like the schedule and what that's like right now?
It's good. Everybody's good competition, and no matter who we play, we can't overlook or underlook anybody. We got to give everything we have.
All right, gentlemen. Well, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on the big win against Montrose, and move on the next week and 1 week at a time. We appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a good weekend. The weather's great.
Thanks for having us on, John. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll be back here in the Friday Night Football Blitz.
The Football Blitz is brought to you by Battaglia Sporting Goods, your hometown sporting goods store since 1975. Contact us for your team sports needs, including all kinds of sports equipment, as well as screen printing and embroidery. We carry most major brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Physical Therapy Associates of Northeastern Pennsylvania, your go-to top-notch care with 3 convenient locations in Old Forge, Hamlin, and Archbald. These pros deliver skilled one-on-one sessions to help you get back in the game faster. Ready to bounce back strong? Give Physical Therapy Associates a call, 570-209-9800.
Hey, sports fans, are you ready for game day? Look sharp with a fresh cut from Guy's Barbershop in Oliphant. We specialize in styles that score big. Whether you need a classic trim or a modern look, our skilled barbers have you covered. Join the winning team, Guy's Barbershop, where every haircut is a touchdown. Visit us today and show your team spirit at Guy's Barbershop in Oliphant.
Coach Lon Hazlett with us from Coaches Health and Fitness. Coach, I got to ask you this question. Parents are out there, young athletes, they need advice. What would you say in regards to improving the athleticism and the fitness of their son or their daughter?
Number one, find somebody you can trust, and I don't mean that's us. We do, but find somebody who is reputable with kids. Okay, somebody that's spent time with young kids, and then find somebody that's a teacher. And I don't mean a teacher as in a school teacher, but somebody that's going to teach them the proper way to lift, proper spotting form. I work with a lot of young kids. I've got probably 7 or 8 kids right now that are middle school aged, and we started off squatting broomsticks and power cleaning, light bars, and getting form down in the form of safety. And the second thing that you see a lot of success is a lot of young kids don't eat right. And I never tell a young kid put them on a diet per se, but if we can cut a little bit of sweets out of there and a little bit of ordinary sugar, and we can get the kid eating some vegetables and some lean protein, it's amazing what will happen with their body at that time. But we focus on form, we focus on safety, we try and teach them the right way to do things before we worry about how much weight we're putting on the bar, and build a good base that's something that they can continue to do the rest of their life.
Great tip from Coach's Health and Fitness from Lon Hazlett.
We're back here on the Friday night football blitz and scrambling around, looking at some scores. We'll get to those coming up. And the Valley View Cougars victorious tonight. And Tonesdale, Scott Silchak, always friendly enough to join us here on the show. Scott, we appreciate your time and taking some time out to talk with us. What went well for the Cougars tonight? Looked like a lopsided win against the Hornets.
I think we jumped on them early, and they're young. And, I think things just got rolling for us. And I just, like I said, I just think their inexperience showed a little bit.
Talk about getting through this schedule. You open up with that big win against Prep, and then you start going week by week, and that kind of it ain't easy kind of thing. So tell us a little bit about health wise where you guys are at.
Well, we are fairly healthy, but we start a lot of young kids, and that stretch that we went through was tough. We let one slip away against Wilkes-Barre. I thought that was a winnable game for us, and I was hoping it won't come back to bite us. And we're getting back on track right now. And then, like I said last week, Abington really took it to us, but they had some seniors that are mature, and we're playing 15 and 16-year-olds against 18-year-olds, and a lot of times the 18-year-old will step up and make plays, and that's what they did last week.
Let's talk about tonight. Who were the guys that stepped up for you guys? What were you most proud of with the effort?
We talked about bouncing back. We lost our swagger a little bit in those two losses. I felt like we were struggling a bit, and I thought we gained our composure pretty quickly tonight. Our quarterback played really well for a sophomore, and we had, I think, 5 or 6 different people score. We spread the ball around. A lot of kids made plays. So that's nice to see when a lot of kids can step up and contribute.
You talk about, you got to look ahead. There'll be some tough weeks here, but you get a Scranton team right now that's going through some tough times. But nonetheless, you get home cooking for 2 weeks in a row. First Scranton, then North Pocono, one game at a time. But talk about, what you know about Scranton and you guys hopefully being able to do what you could do. Yeah,
listen, they're a 6A team. They have great athletes, and those guys do a good job. We know we're in for a battle, and it's a game we kind of have to win. If we want to keep pace with the North Poconos and Dallas and Crestwood and Popack, we have to keep winning. So our kids know that, and we know that as coaches. So we're going to prepare and certainly try to get a win against a tough 6A team, and that would help us.
You had mentioned, hey, Abington, you guys were kind of overmatched, and after a tough game like that, you could do it 2 ways as a coach. You could kind of really lay into your guys or like, hey, listen, that's in the past. We've got to look forward now. So what was the mood like after the weekend, and then how the guys approached the week for practice?
I told the kids I wanted them last weekend. I said, I want you to forget about football for 2 days. Just let it go. Go do something you enjoy, because it's becoming a grind. And if you're not having fun doing this, it's not worth doing. And I think that helped them a little bit. Their pride was hurt. At Valley View, we don't take a beating like that frequently. And so, it was tough. It was a tough pill to swallow. But, going up to Honesdale tonight is, we're going to see Coach Hawanitz, who these kids know, and they respect him, and I respect the heck out of him. He gave me an opportunity to come here to Valley View. So, it was a big week for us, and I know he'll get things right there. That's the other thing. And it was, a good win for us. Like I said, it was a good win coming back after that Abington beating.
Let's talk a little bit about it. Listen, the weather's been fantastic. There's got to be a little bit of balance with coaching as well. How about for you? Family time this weekend? Is there something fun you're going to try to sit back, relax, watch a little football, go to a fair, do something?
I'm going to go watch North Pocono and Abington tomorrow, because I have to see North Pocono because we're playing them in a few weeks. I like to scout them. I do like I like to hunt and get out in the woods. So like a day off for me would be maybe to go walk around the woods a little bit. My daughter is in school right now in Florida. I'm constantly in contact with her. I'd love to go see her right now, but that's not happening. But no, my son and I will do something. Like I said, we'll go walk around the woods, do something along those lines. But like it's basically football this time of year. That's what we do in our family.
Sure is. Well, hopefully you get some good concession food tomorrow. All right.
Give it a shot. Yeah.
All right, Scott. Thanks for your time and congrats on the win.
Good talking to you. Thank you.
Okay, Scott Wasilchek, the winning coach for Valley View tonight. We'll take a break. We'll be back.
The Football Blitz is brought to you by Alberigi Insurance. Alberigi Insurance Agency proudly services all your insurance needs for over 60 years. Located at 301 Church Street in Jessup. Call us today for a no-obligation quote for home, auto, recreational vehicles, boats, and business insurance. The Alberigi Insurance Agency, 570-489-6348. Tim Wagner's Sports Corner, your spot for all your MLB, NFL, and NCAA clothing and accessory needs. Come see what Tim carries for every Boston Red Sox, New York Yankees and Giants, Philadelphia Phillies, Eagles, Notre Dame, and Syracuse fan, to name a few. Tim Wagner's also specializes in all your screen printing and embroidery needs. If you're on Sanderson Street in Scranton, you'll need to stop and shop at Tim Wagner's Sports Corner. Fiorelli and Associates, LLC, is a local public accounting firm offering full-service individual and business income tax preparation and general accounting services, including compilations, reviews, and audits. Contact Michael T. Fiorelli, CPA, at 570-383-0782 for any of your individual business income tax or accounting needs. Fiorelli and Associates, Michael T. Fiorelli, CPA. The Football Blitz is brought to you by the Maddock Agency. Since 1972, the Maddock Agency has been serving northeastern Pennsylvania for home, auto, and life. The Maddock Agency prides itself on being an independently owned agency. When you need help, you could talk with a staff member who lives and works right here in Northeast PA. The Maddock Agency has stayed true to its local, loyal roots. That's what our company was founded on more than 50 years ago. Call Dave Maddock and his team today. 570-586-3790. Use Savage Chiropractic. Takes pride in always doing a full evaluation on all patients, including x-rays, to evaluate patients to keep them safe and to determine the best care for their specific needs. Then they use modern techniques to get patients better, faster, and keep them feeling great with maintenance care options after they're pain-free. Along with chiropractic care, they are one of the only offices here in Northeast PA that offers both Class 4 cold laser to speed up the healing process and massage therapy and bodywork to aid in muscle repair and rehabilitation. And Northeast Outdoor Services, a locally run and operated company who offers a wide range of services but specializes in all forms of hardscape, concrete work, along with fiberglass pools and spas. Check us out on Facebook or visit our website at northeastoutdoorservices.com. Northeast Outdoor Services.
All right, we're back here in the Friday Night Football Blitz, and we'll get to some scores coming up here and efforting to get a couple more coaches and players. Let's welcome in Vito Quaglia, the head football coach of Holy Redeemer right now. Coach, big win last week against Susquehanna. Talk about, getting that victory, for the kids and for the program and what that felt like.
Well, yeah, it was huge for the program. 24-game losing streak, so to get that monkey off our back was big. Not just for the current kids, but for the guys who had gone through it, a couple seasons before. The hardest thing when turning a program around is trying to understand how to win, not to get too high when you do something right and not to get too low when you make those mistakes. So it was good for us, the kind of win it was. We had the lead. We lost the lead. We had to come back and then hold off a late drive to secure the victory. So I think that kind of victory will help us, moving down the road.
Things happen, injuries happen, adversity happens. Talk a little bit about early in the season things there for Holy Redeemer, and you guys trying to keep your heads up.
Yeah, I mean, second quarter of the first game, we lose our starting quarterback, for the year with a fractured ankle, junior kid, real good athlete. So next man up, Brady McDermott steps in. He's a sophomore, had some varsity experience last year as a freshman. So, he's running the show for us now. And like, most smaller clubs, guys with not a big roster, we're banged up a little bit right now. Over the last couple games, we're down about 4 starters, and with a with a roster of 34 guys, when you lose 3, 4, 5 guys, it's kind of hard to come back. So we're just trying to get healthy. We have a couple guys coming back. This week we had one. Next week we'll get a couple more. So it's just that next man up mentality and just keep grinding.
Let's talk about number-wise. Where are you guys at? And, trying to, grow it. Obviously, you want to stay steady and not lose guys to injuries. But talk about, just trying to maintain what you have and then think, okay, if we could get this, you try to get everybody you can out for the team and then maybe build something for next year.
Yeah, like I said, our roster of 34 has 5 seniors, so we're kind of young. We have 24, 29 coming back. Hopefully, everybody comes back, and then we just started a 7th and 8th grade program, first time Redeemer ever has it. We have 22 7th and 8th graders, involved there. So the numbers with the underclassmen are good. We just have to, build on the momentum. That first victory hopefully leads to a couple more, and we just, build on that moving forward.
We hear a lot about physicality. Somebody like a Rich Manello and. He would talk a lot about the weight room, and they're the strongest they've been. And that's a lean team. They don't have a kid with a belly at all. But in the end, you still got to play football. You can have kids in the weight room. You still got to go play some football. So talk about, what do you do at Holy Redeemer with the weight program? And then, of course, trying to get guys out there on the field, and they have to execute as well.
Well, I think it's a combination. We're lucky. We have athletes in our program that are your typical baseball, basketball guys. So we have, guys there who can get the ball in space, but we do need that interior bulk, right? So when we took over the program in April, we really had to reestablish, the weight room, make sure we had guys lifting there. Previously, guys were kind of scattered all over the valley, lifting here, lifting there. So we wanted to make sure that was a non-negotiable, that our guys lift at our place. And we kind of put in our system. Again, starting in April, you only have a few months before we got the summer, rolling. So hopefully, what the little bit that we did build, we could build upon, and trying to recruit our hallways a little bit, get some of those bigger guys that maybe haven't been playing football at Redeemer to get them to come out. We got a couple, decent sized guys, first year guys, a 6'1", 200-pound basketball player that's playing tight end for us a little bit. We have a 6'2", 260-pound guy that was dabbling in volleyball for a little bit, kind of convinced him, and he's actually our left tackle. So there's some guys there that we have to find the athletes, and once we get them and we get them committed, make sure they buy into the weight program, and not just that, but also the strength and speed program as well. My brother up at Delaware Valley, he's a track coach, but he's also, the running back coach there. So I stole some ideas from him. The whole Tony Holler Feed the Cats program of trying to keep your guys fresh and building a lot of bouncy athletes, in addition to being strong guys.
How about a coaching staff, putting that together? How challenging was that there at Holy Redeemer?
Like anywhere, it's a challenge. But what we tried to do is put together guys who understood the challenges that you have at a Redeemer. So actually on our staff, we have two guys, Mike Conway and Stevie Phillips, who played at Redeemer or Hoban back in the day, right? And then Dylan Lakachko coached. When I coached at Pitt Scenario with Nick Barberi, Dylan was one of our guys. So he's been in a similar system. Stevie Seaton, I've known as an assistant at Pittston and also at Wyoming area for my days there. So I wanted to get guys around us that understood, what it's like. It's not like you're walking into a place like Hazleton or Williamsport or Delaware Valley that has all these resources. You're going to be limited, but you can't make excuses. You have to buy in and still do the right thing.
How about as far as the scouting report, like Lehman tomorrow night, 7:00, they're coming off a big loss to Riverside. Do you have some hopes that, hey, maybe we could kind of hang in there with a team? You get a school like Lehman, they're probably going to be physical. And, on paper, they're the favorite against you guys. And you guys are probably the underdog all year for the most part. But you still got to go play the game. So you feel like, hey, the kids are feeling good. And, maybe we can get out there and put some series together, see what happens.
Absolutely. The bottom line is we're always going to be the underdog, right? You hit the nail on the head right there. But we're trying to find incremental growth. And I think it's amazing. Any coach will tell you when kids believe and think they can win, they play at a different level. So that Susquehanna game, when we were in there from the get-go and the kids felt like, hey, we can compete, they were making plays that they hadn't made against maybe some other teams that they felt they're overmatched. So now really for us, it's understanding the mental aspect of the game. Physically, we can execute, but the kids have to believe and know that they compete. And honestly, we're just going to go out there. We have some advantages in our athletic kids, but we might not be as big and as strong as some of our opponents. But we're going to go out there and we're going to play for 4 quarters and see what happens.
Coach, we appreciate your time tonight. Congratulations on that win, and try to build on that. And good luck tomorrow night against the Black Knights.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right, Vito Quaglia, Holy Redeemer head football coach. We'll be back here in the Friday Night Football Blitz.
In 1946, attorney Joseph Saporito returned from World War II and started his law practice. 79 years later, his legacy lives on. Attorneys Sam Falcone, Bill Watt, Mara Armazzani, and Joseph Saporito III have continued with the same principles: honest work, dedication to their clients, and a proven record of courtroom success. Saporito, Falcone, and Watt, a general law practice serving all your legal needs. Check them out online at falconewattlaw.com or call 570-654-4643. Saporito, Falcone, and Watt, 48 South Main Street, Pittston. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC. Strategic Planning Associates, LLC. Thomas J. Fiorelli, independent insurance and financial consultant. Big city expectations with small town personalized service and professional advice. Investments, insurance, and financial planning. Need financial guidance? Call Tom Fiorelli, Certified Financial Planner, at 570-650-4558. Office is located at 1548 Main Street, Peckville, Pennsylvania, 18452.
Mesco Glass. Since the founding of our family business in 1930, Mesco Glass has served Northeast Pennsylvania as the area's leading full-service glass company. In those 94 years, we've expanded to 5 locations. Mesco knows glass, auto, home, and commercial. That's what we've done for 94 years. Call Mesco, 1-800-982-4055.
All right, we're back here at the Friday Night Football Blitz and kind of get some bang stuff going on. David Danowitz and Chase Rosenkrantz joining us from Lakeland. Guys, you look frozen, but you might not be frozen. Let's see. Always hard to get a good signal. You guys are up there in the sticks. So let's talk a little bit about the victory tonight against Susquehanna.
It was a great team win tonight. We came out and executed, did our jobs, did everything we were coached to do, and we came out on top.
Yeah, I thought it was a good bounce back week from last week, just coming out flat in the second half, especially versus Wyoming area. We had to come back with a lot of fire under our belt. So, we showed out, and I thought it was a great team win.
Yeah, you guys, you start the season out with a big win against, Carbondale, and then again, you get Holy Cross and that victory, Riverside, but Wyoming area, it stings a little bit. Talk about the guys and how practice went to try to get everybody back and okay, let's refocus a little bit.
The coaches after the game said one game is not going to define our season. We still have everything that we worked for and everything that we set our goals for in the beginning in front of us. So we didn't let it get us down too bad. We bounced back, had a good week of practice, kind of forgot about it, put it behind us, and just ready to move forward.
David, talk a little bit about Chase's skill set, what he brings to this squad, and what you like about working with him on your team.
Chase is a great receiver. He's been my number one guy for the last 2 years, coming up on 3 here. But, he's a great athlete. He's a great receiver, knows how to get open, makes a bunch of plays for us. He's great to have.
Chase, not too many combinations of quarterback and defensive end you're going to find around. Talk a little bit about the toughness of your teammate there, and David Danowitz.
He's the center. He's the guy that gets the ball every single play, and he makes a play all the time. He's going to make a play when he has the ball. Every single time he does it, he's a great athlete, great player, really competitive, loves to win. So he's just a great guy to have on our team.
One of the question marks this year, Chase, was that offensive line, defensive line. Talk about guys you feel like, hey, they're stepping up. They're trying to get better week after week. Who are some of those guys?
I wouldn't just point out one guy in specific. They all hold each other accountable. Even freshmen holding seniors accountable, and seniors holding younger guys accountable. I think it's just a great team effort from those guys, and the bond they have. You can just see it's building week by week, and they're just getting better every single day.
You guys seem like two smart guys. I got one question for you. How do you like your deer meat?
Dunmore.
All right. Good answer. Smart man. Next week, it is the Bucks at Dunmore. You're a good football team. No disrespect, obviously. We're joking around a little bit, but Tell us a little bit about what you know about the Bucks, and that'll be a challenge next week, and always a heck of a game.
We know that it'll be a 4-quarter game. The coaches even told us tonight after the game. He said, "Yeah, it'll be a 4-quarter game." They have Weston Unknown from Susquehanna, the transfer guy. Yeah, he's a great athlete. We played him last year when he was with the Sabres, and we know he's going to be a problem for us, but we're going to have to shut him down. But overall, we like our chances.
How about the plans for the weekend, guys? What are you going to do? Chill a little bit, family, friends, some football? What do you got going on?
Definitely we're going to have a team yoga tomorrow. We're going to get stretched out. We'll lift a little bit, recover, and then
I'm probably just chilling, resting up.
Chilling and rest up. I like the yoga part, though, for you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah.
David and Chase, we appreciate your time. Thanks for getting on the show tonight. We wish you all the best going forward. Congrats on the win.
Thank
all
you.
right, you got it. We'll take a timeout. We'll talk Pittston area football when we come right back.
In 1946, attorney Joseph Saporito returned from World War II and started his law practice. 79 years later, his legacy lives on. Attorneys Sam Falcone, Bill Watt, Mara Armazzani, and Joseph Saporito III have continued with the same principles: honest work, dedication to their clients, and a proven record of courtroom success. Saporito, Falcone, and Watt, a general law practice serving all your legal needs. Check them out online at falconewattlaw.com or call 570-654-4643. Saporito, Falcone, and Watt, 48 South Main Street, Pittston. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC. Strategic Planning Associates, LLC. Thomas J. Fiorelli, independent insurance and financial consultant. Big city expectations with small town personalized service and professional advice. Investments, insurance, and financial planning. Need financial guidance? Call Tom Fiorelli, certified financial planner, at 570-650-4558. Office is located at 1548 Main Street, Peckville, Pennsylvania, 18452.
Mesco Glass. Since the founding of our family business in 1930, Mesco Glass has served Northeast Pennsylvania as the area's leading full-service glass company. In those 94 years, we've expanded to 5 locations. Mesco knows glass, auto, home, and commercial. That's what we've done for 94 years. Call Mesco, 1-800-982-4055.
All right, we're back here on the Friday Night Football Blitz, and we're ready for Pittston area. It is pandemonium there in Patriot Country, and let's welcome in the head coach, Paul Russick. Coach, congratulations. Got a couple guys behind you. What a mean machine victory, 36-35. You guys got it done. Talk about the ups and downs of tonight. It was a heck of a football game to watch, no doubt about it, and you guys got it done.
Yeah, I mean, classic high school football game tonight, right? You had, I'm sure the fans probably enjoyed it. From the sideline side, it was an up and down battle, a lot of emotions. Obviously, super proud of our kids and coming out on top, but I again play extremely hard. Some momentum swings there, and we kept fighting, and obviously good things happen at the end.
I was so impressed with a lot of things tonight. First, Brody Spindler's toughness. But at the same time, the toughness of the Dallas secondary at 170 pounds and come up and try to hit that battering ram. They came up to try to stick him. They were taking the hits. He was taking the hits. And, it was just a great matchup.
Yeah, no, and again, kind of going into it, we kind of knew, we were going to try and get Brody the ball a bit more tonight. We had Jude Ferrantino, who had been running the ball for us the first couple weeks. That got injured 2 weeks ago. He'll come back later on. And Caden Bailey, who's running really nice as a freshman for us. He's going to have a great career here at Pittston area. But big moments like this, we talk about all the toughness that Brody brings, and the weight room paying off, and all the things he does. There's no doubt in our mind we wanted to get him the ball.
Lucas Lepresto's interception, probably one of the top 5 plays I've ever seen. Talk a little bit about how he kept on his pins and just kept going. It was an amazing play.
I wish I could sit here and tell you exactly what my thoughts were. But on the opposite sideline, I saw a few replays my way home today, or from the game, and even the camera guys kind of got juked out of there. So I'm still kind of I can't wait to see that from the end zone camera angle tomorrow morning or later on tonight. But again, talk about difference maker. I've said that Lucas is the best athlete in District 2 to a number of people, and I don't know what he can't do. He threw for a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, interception for a touchdown, and last week, he's been a killer in the return game, which I know Coach Mendola takes pride in special teams, and they definitely had a great plan for him there. Just great overall players
you
here.
guys want to go celebrate. I don't want to hold you up. I do want to talk to the guys real quick. So let's talk with Brody Spindler first. Brody, talk a little bit about, finding a way, getting in that end zone. There was no doubt you were going to find a way. They gave you the ball at the end of the game.
No doubt.
Talk about that offensive line and just kind of pounding that rock all night.
They did their job up front, and I love them for it.
Your jersey was like different colors. It was totally a couple different shades. Everybody had a white jersey. You had like double dark jersey there on a turf field. Talk about just keep, hitting Mountaineers all night and hitting that turf. And, do you still feel, are you kind of on like a little bit of a high right now? Like, this is fun.
No, it hurts. I can feel it right now. It hurts pretty.
You think
pretty
you're
bad.
hurting?
What was the stat line? How many carries? I haven't seen it yet. How many?
I
do you
don't
have,
know.
You know?
It seemed like
Okay.
forever. I wasn't keeping stats. I couldn't do two things at once. I'm tough enough doing one, but it seemed like 30 carries. That's for sure. How about those guys? Got to be hurting though too, right, Brody?
Yeah, I was hitting them pretty hard, so run a couple of them over.
Talk a little bit about that guy next year, because we're going to talk to him in a moment. What's it like to watch Lepresto do his thing?
It's crazy. He's awesome at what he does. He bailed me out the one time I fumbled the ball, and he intercepted it, got a touchdown off it. I love him.
All right, let's bring in Lucas Lepresto here on the Friday Night Football Blitz, and there he is, the human joystick. Let's talk a little bit about that interception return tonight, Lucas. That was unbelievable. Talk about just that vision. Your head's always going, and people are trying to pull you down, tackle you, but you had a nose for the end zone.
Yeah, that's what I love to do. Just like get the ball in open space, make plays, and go off my teammates' blocks. And
There was
score.
a player, too, who's like, okay, is his ankle sore? He's jogging over to the other side. You were doing some of those hard outs, and then some of those calls like, hey, they got to try to get him the deep ball. Talk about that matchup against Mason and Geske, two real good athletes, and what that was like, because it went a little back and forth.
Yeah, they're both really fast, and when I can't get the ball in the passing game, they got me at running on like jet sweeps and end around. So, yeah.
Towards the end of the game, you needed a big play. You came up with that one, reverse the action, throw the touchdown pass. Talk a little bit about drawing that up. Is that something you feel pretty comfortable with?
Well, week one we tried it and it was a fail. So, thanks to coach, he kept it in the playbook, and I knew next time it's going to be in a big spot, and I was gonna throw a good pass.
It's a program-changing win tonight. Talk a little bit about the memories you're going to take with this for your whole life. You'll be some 53-year-old guy in 30 years, and you're like, hey, man, we beat Dallas that night, 36-35. How good does it feel for you guys to come together and get it done?
Feels great. This is my third year. I never had a win like that in the locker room. It was buzzing. It was awesome.
How about Coach Russick? Talk about his energy and what was the energy like, whether it was at halftime, after the game, the bus ride home. What's it like?
Just gets us fired up. Him and Coach Hazlett.
All right, man. Well, hey, congratulations. I know you guys want to go celebrate, but we appreciate your time. Okay.
Thank you.
The Pittston area Patriots, 36. Dallas Mountaineers, 35. Enjoy the evening, guys.
Hey, thanks, John, for having
We
us.
got it. We'll be back here in the Friday Night Football Blitz.
The Football Blitz is brought to you by Battaglia Sporting Goods, your hometown sporting goods store since 1975. Contact us for your team sports needs, including all kinds of sports equipment, as well as screen printing and embroidery. We carry most major brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Physical Therapy Associates of Northeastern Pennsylvania, your go-to top-notch care with 3 convenient locations in Old Forge, Hamlin, and Archbald. These pros deliver skilled one-on-one sessions to help you get back in the game faster. Ready to bounce back strong? Give Physical Therapy Associates a call. 570-209-9800.
Hey, sports fans, are you ready for game day? Look sharp with a fresh cut from Guy's Barbershop in Oliphant. We specialize in styles that score big. Whether you need a classic trim or a modern look, our skilled barbers have you covered. Join the winning team, Guy's Barbershop, where every haircut is a touchdown. Visit us today and show your team spirit at Guy's Barbershop in Oliphant.
Coach Lon Hazlett with us from Coaches Health and Fitness. Coach, I got to ask you this question. Parents are out there, young athletes, they need advice. What would you say in regards to improving the athleticism and the fitness of their son or their daughter?
Number one, find somebody you can trust, and I don't mean that's us. We do, but find somebody who is reputable with kids. Okay, somebody that's spent time with young kids, and then find somebody that's a teacher. And I don't mean a teacher as in a school teacher, but somebody that's going to teach them the proper way to lift, proper spotting form. I work with a lot of young kids. I've got probably 7 or 8 kids right now. They're middle school aged, and we started off squatting broomsticks and power cleaning, light bars, and getting form down in the form of safety. And the second thing that you see a lot of success is a lot of young kids don't eat right. And I never tell a young kid put them on a diet per se, but if we can cut a little bit of sweets out of there and a little bit of ordinary sugar, and we can get the kid eating some vegetables and some lean protein, it's amazing what will happen with their body at that time. But we focus on form, we focus on safety, we try and teach them the right way to do things before we worry about how much weight we're putting on the bar, and build a good base that's something that they can continue to do the rest of their life.
Great tip from Coaches Health and Fitness from Lon Hazlett.
We're back here on the Friday Night Football Blitz. We appreciate you joining us. How about that game tonight? So if you didn't see it, you get to watch it over and over again if you want, okay? You go to YouTube, John Mendola Show, the network, the whole 9 yards. I was there. We did the game. It was fantastic. I mean, it was as advertised. I thought this thing could be a squeaker. Dallas had a chance, and Pittsburgh had the same chance. They could have went for 2. They had a penalty. Could have went for 2 to decided to keep with 1. Well, Pittsburgh missed the extra point. So Dallas goes down and scores, and then they have a chance to go for 2. They could go up 9 and a penalty. And they decided to go for the 1. They end up going up 8. And then Pittston came back and tied it. And it goes to overtime. Dallas scores. Pittston scores. But Pittston goes for 2. And Brody Spindler would not be denied. But the interception, if you catch the interception return from Lucas Lepresto and watch that play, you might be like, that is one of the greatest high school plays I've seen. It really, I think back to, the 90s with Brett Veach. And Brett Veach had a play against Dallas, Wilkes-Barre Memorial Stadium, couple seconds left in the half, got the ball, went out of bounds, and they had a fake kick and scored. And that play, he was a freshman. I thought that, to me, in all my years, 31 years doing this, that might have been the smartest freshman play I've ever seen. And went on, he's the GM of the Kansas City Chiefs. So, you think back of memories, you think back of times that wow, that was amazing. But, a lot of good highlights. Jerry Mack's dunk, down at Martz Hall was one of those memories that, just kind of stays with you. And you think of some other things along the way. But those are some memorable times. Southern Columbia's run, what they were able to do, Berwick and George Curry. And right now, that grandson of his at Berwick's getting the job done. Now, I can't get him on a Friday night, but, I'll get him during the week and send him a text. And CJ's doing a heck of a job right now. Those Berwick Bulldogs, they're absolutely rolling right now. Beat Hanover tonight, 56-19. Scranton Prep took care of Scranton tonight. It was the Bucks of Dunmore, 43-14 over Carbondale. Crestwood took care of Nanticoke. You had Valley View all over Honesdale. Lackawanna Trail and Mid-Valley, 49-27. The Chiefs, we talked to those players. Lakeland, victorious. Western Wayne found a way to get it done on the road against the Pizza Boys of Old Forge. Wyoming area shuts out Tunkhannock at home. Wilkes-Barre area, 42-14 over West Side Story. And then tomorrow, you got North Pocono on the road, the Pitt, Abingtonites. On paper, I think you got to give Abingtonites the edge. They're at home. They got the quarterback. They got some receivers. They got some tough guys there. But, you got Greg Dolan's team that they're going to step up and be ready. You got Holy Cross tomorrow and Columbia, Montour, Votech. And then tomorrow night, Holy Redeemer and Lake Lehman. So, Holy Redeemer coming off that win, good for them. So, you'll get over to District 4 tonight and just, pop a couple scores. Loyalsock ends up beating Bloomsburg tonight, 32-23. So that's an interesting score. You got Southern Columbia all over Central Columbia, 48-0. Go down the list here. Let's see. Jersey Shore beats Chickalammy 42-14. And Montoursville beats, the Red Tornadoes. Those smoking Indians, 35-7. You head over to District 11. Just a little bit of interest in some of the District 11 scores. It kind of knew, the way some of them would go, so that Peyton Falzone, the quarterback there for Nazareth, he's hurt, collarbone injury. So, you figured that they would get taken care of by Parkland, and Parkland does that, 42-6. Jim Thorpe goes down to North Schuylkill, 36-14. So those are a couple of the scores. You just kind of wanted to look and see what happened, down that way. One of the other scores I want to look at tonight was Pottsville. They had Southern Lehigh. They go down 35-17. That's a tough matchup. Southern Lehigh, showing that they're a pretty good football team. Pocono Mountain got thumped last week as they had started out 3-0. I didn't see a score from Pocono Mountain tonight yet, so I'm not sure if they play tomorrow. But basically, those are some of the scores from this evening. We had some other texts into coaches and players. Everybody got a little bit busy. Those Pittston area guys tonight, they wanted to go celebrate. It's like, hey, we could get an interview in, but you get a win like that, 36-35 against Dallas. Russick's going out with the coaches. Hey, we're going for pizza. We're going to get a couple sodas. We're going to enjoy ourselves tonight. It'll be a late night there in Pittston area territory. And then the players, want to spend some time with their family or their friends and kind of soak that all up. So, like anything else, we appreciated everybody's time. And we had a little bit of a late start. It's coming back from Dallas and the side roads. It's pitch black. You're driving. You want to make sure you're careful. You get home safely. I mean, that first half was over by 8. It was over by like 20-8. It was like the fastest first half of football. And then we got to the second half, and it was the longest second half. It was like, okay, girls are helping me. They got a curfew at 10 o'clock. They got a soccer game tomorrow. And, we're getting up against the clock. It all worked out, but, it's just the way it works. So anyway, appreciate you joining us. We'll be back again next Friday night, the Friday night football blitz. We'll have a soccer game for you on Tuesday, Dallas and Wilkes-Barre area. We'll have a football game for you next Friday as the Wilkes-Barre area Wolfpack will be home next week. Looks like Valley West got their first win in quite some time against Hazleton area. So congratulations to the Spartans if that score is legit. That's what I saw on a couple different services tonight. I'm going to double check it right now, but the Valley West Spartans is what I had victorious tonight over Hazleton. And this one doesn't have that score, but, thinking it's true. So, all right, that'll do it for the Friday Night Football Blitz. I'm John Mendola. Thanks again for joining us. Enjoy your weekend with your family. little Bloomsburg Fair action will kind of chill me out all weekend long, and some sports going on tomorrow with the kids. So we hope you enjoy your weekend. Good night, everybody.